Good morning, everyone. It's Sherry Shrallow coming to you from my kitchen once again. Hey, I want to apologize for a little glitch we had yesterday when we were making Sherry's favorite salad dressings. My husband Dale, as you know, is new with using this new Sony camera that video records. And at one point, he was like all over the place. So we're going to do better today, right, Dale?
You bet.
Okay, we've actually tried to practice this and stage it a little bit, so hopefully it'll go a little bit smoother. Anyway, as I told you yesterday, today is a big day in the Shrallow household. We are having our first friends over, maskless, for dinner tonight because we're all vaccinated. So we're so excited. So I wanted to give you a preview of what we'll be cooking later this evening. So my daughter, Allison, sent me this cookbook recently called Chloe's Kitchen. And in this cookbook, I found a recipe called Peanutty Perfection Noodles. What it is, it's a Thai noodle dish. So I've made this for a few people. Our good friend John Gagliardi really liked it. Our son and my daughter-in-law loved it, and my grandson. So our friends are going to have it this evening. So let's get started. Now in this cookbook, she uses a lot of oil, but I omit all oil in her recipes as well as a lot of the sodium. So I modify a little bit of her recipe. And remember, you can find this recipe that I've modified under the comments section of this video. So this is all we have to do. So to get started today, I took some tofu and I cubed it. And I made it into this size, real small cubes. And just yesterday, I received my very special Ninja air fryer. Now this air fryer makes this tofu super crispy. All I had to do was pull out this drawer. I dropped the uncooked tofu into the basket, put it in here. I hit air fry, and I put the time on for 8 minutes. And then every 2 or 3 minutes, I checked it to make sure it wasn't too brown. So it took about 8 minutes, and I had to do 2 batches, and that's what it looks like. They're just gorgeously browned. So that will go into our dish at the very end. So I'm gonna put that over there. Okay, so my pot is here. I'm just gonna grab it. And I'm going to turn my heat on. I'm going to do it on a low flame. These are Salad Master pots, and everything you cook is on a low heat, so it maintains a lot of the nutrients, which is great. So before I make the sauce, let me show you the noodles that I've pre-cooked. I made this dish gluten-free, which is really nice for those who can't eat like whole wheat pasta, and it's 100% organic brown rice. So I've pre-cooked that, and it's over in a big bowl, so we'll be able to combine all that later. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to take some coconut milk. This is 1 cup of coconut milk, and put it into my bowl. Then I'm going to take some water, and this was, I believe, a 1/2 cup of water. We'll add that in. Then we're going to add maple syrup, and this was a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. So in that goes. The next ingredient, I'm going to pull this closer because my eyes are not that great. I used a 1/4 cup of, remember we talked yesterday about substituting soy sauce with this coconut aminos, so we're using a 1/4 cup of coconut aminos. It's a substitute for soy sauce, and it's also gluten-free, or soy-free, I'm sorry, it's soy-free. So those that can't eat soy, it's perfect for them. Then we're going to take a 1/2 cup of peanut butter. Now I get my peanut butter at Whole Foods, and I grind it myself in their machine. So all it is peanuts. There's no salt or anything else in it. So we'll add that in. Get every last drop, because that's what gives this dish the great taste. Then we're going to add some chili garlic sauce. Here's a tablespoon of it. It is super hot. This is the one that I use, but you can use any chili garlic sauce or any hot sauce you like. We're going to throw that in. Dale loves really spicy food, correct, Dale?
Can't be too hot for me.
He cannot, it can never be too hot for him. Me, on the other hand, my mouth is burning. But we're gonna make this nice and hot because it is tasty that way. Then we're going to take a teaspoon of freshly grated ginger and 3 cloves of minced garlic. I'm going to add that into the pot. Now you see how I've prepped for this dish by pre-measuring all these ingredients. It makes all the difference. I also want to share a little tip with you while we're cooking this, because I'm going to start to stir it. I buy fresh ginger, and you know they're sort of big when you get a bunch of fresh ginger. So what I do is I take these little containers and I take my ginger and I pre-chop it. So I have them in containers in the freezer. So when I need fresh ginger, all I have to do is go to the freezer, take it out of this little plastic container, put it in a bowl, maybe defrost it by sitting it on the counter, or you could put it in the microwave for 10-15 seconds, and voila, you always have fresh ginger that way. So this now has to combine and cook. And I don't know, Dale, if you want to come over here and just take a look at this a little bit. But this is what it looks like. Great, okay. And now I want to talk a little bit while this is cooking about mental health. I don't know if all of you know this, but as a professional, I was a licensed clinical social worker all of my life until I retired from that field. It's been 2 years now, 2 years in February, a little over 2 years. And I know that during this pandemic, there has been a lot of discussion about people being depressed and sad, and I understand that. It's been a tough year for all of us, it really has. I think isolation from human contact can do a lot of things to our mind that are challenging. But what I want to distinguish with you today is the difference between being what we call depressed or sad and actual clinical depression, because they are very different. And one will pass, and the other one you may need to talk to someone and get some help for yourself. So clinical depression is when you really lose all interest in most things that you do. It's very hard to sleep. You either sleep too much, or maybe you can't sleep at night. You wake up. Let me just turn this down a second. You also might have a loss of appetite or quite an increase in your appetite. It could go one way or the other. Your mood is just very sort of lethargic. There's just no interest in much of anything. It's a challenge just to move your body. So when you feel symptoms like that, and they go on for more than 2 weeks, then I would suggest that you call a mental health professional to talk with someone. Talk therapy is very helpful in some situations. Antidepressant medications are advised, but I think there's a lot of good that can come from just starting with a talk therapist so that you can sort of express what you're going through. A lot of relief comes from having someone who totally understands what's happening to you. So I'm hoping that as the weather gets better and as more and more of us get vaccinated, that we can return to some semblance of being outdoors and with other people. We all miss that. It's been a long year. You have anything you want to say about that too, Dale?
Just that I think it's important that people not be reluctant to come forward and seek help. I think our society often stigmatizes depression, and it's just important not to suffer and to seek the assistance that you need.
Exactly, because one of the most awful things that can happen with clinical depression is that people become suicidal. And that means that they are in so much emotional pain that they no longer want to be present on this earth. So that is the very sad reality of severe clinical depression. So that's why getting help is so, so important. So on a lighter note, I know that some of you are aware that I play pickleball. That is my sport of choice in my 60s now. So my friends will be very happy to know that I can play this afternoon because I told them I'd be cooking, and I thought I might have to cut short my pickleball, but nope, I've got everything prepped for our dinner party tonight, so I'm gonna give them a run for their money today. We're gonna play a long time. So this sauce is doing well. We want it to just thicken up a little bit more. So I'm gonna keep stirring it. Let's see, how long do we want to stir this for? It's supposed to thicken a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to a whisk. See if we can speed this up a little. Let's whisk it around. I'll tell you, this recipe tastes just like what you would get in a Thai restaurant. But I think it's better because it's not loaded with oil. And the only really fat part is the peanut butter. But when we think about one portion of it, it's not a tremendous amount of peanut butter. And it's a special treat kind of meal. So we're whisking, whisking, whisking. There we go. So I appreciate all the people that have subscribed to my YouTube channel so far. It's been amazing. Thank you so much. Appreciate it if you spread the word so that we can reach that at least 1,000 subscribers before too long. And then we can, again, as I said yesterday, if there are any proceeds from this channel, they will all go to my Vegan Volunteer Corps, and that is feeding people in need healthy plant-based foods. On Monday, I will be taking a dinner down to a shelter, a homeless shelter in the city of Chicago. And I'm going to demonstrate to you how I make this massive vegan loaf, which will be part of our dinner. And we have about 14 volunteers who are also helping with the meal, so it's a great undertaking and it's a good feeling. Because you know, when you think about happiness, let's talk about that for a minute. I think that people always say, you know, I want to be happy. Well, what is happiness anyway? What makes people happy? Is it going on a vacation? Yeah, that makes you happy, but it's sort of temporary, isn't it? Because you come home and then you're back to your life. Could it be having a lot of material things, buying all kinds of stuff and gadgets? Again, it might make you happy a little bit, but how do we maintain long-term happiness? You know, for me, I've learned in my life that having a purpose and doing good for the world is a sustainable long-term happiness. So when you wake up every day and you have that purpose in mind, that you're here on this earth to be of service to others, I think that is true happiness for me. What do you think, Dale?
I think that's true. I think the goal, should be for everyone to find what really motivates them and what interests them, and decide for them, him or herself, what he or she can do to, make the world a better place.
That's right. That's right. I so agree. Well, it looks like we're thickening. It looks like it's thickening. I'm just going to turn it up a little bit here so we can get the final thickening going. And then we'll be ready to plate this. I'm going to show you how to plate it. My good friend John Gagliardi said, Sherry, you've got to taste the food after you show everybody. So it's only like 9-something in the morning, but that's okay. I can taste food any time of the day. I'll taste it so that you can see. Let me just see if this is thick enough. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it's thick enough without keeping you here watching and waiting too long. Okay. We're just going to try it like this, and it will thicken up as we go. So I'm going to very carefully move this over here to this little green thing so I don't get the countertop. So here we go. Here are my noodles. Now, I chopped up 2 carrots and 3 scallions, and they look like this, and they go into the noodles. So I'm going to pour them in, dump them in there, move them around a little. Here comes the fun part. Then we're going to take our sauce, and I'm going to just drizzle it over the noodles. And because the sauce is so hot, it doesn't matter if your noodles have been sitting out a little bit, because they'll pick up the heat from the sauce. Okay. And then all you do is you're going to stir it up like this, blend it up, mix it thoroughly. So it's all coated. I might chop up some of these noodles because I didn't pre-cut them. There we go. Oh, that's so pretty. And that's it. So it's an easy dish, really, to put together. Now let me show you. Let me plate it for you. I'm going to use this so we can pick up a lot of it. Okay. So here's my bowl. A little bit more. So look how pretty that is. Now what we're going to do is we're going to give people the option of putting a little bit of cilantro on top, which I love. It's funny how some people love cilantro and other people think it tastes like soap. It has something to do with our taste buds. And then if you want, you can just take a little bit of peanuts and just put them on top. And then I cut up some really pretty little limes here, which I think look really pretty if you sort of place them on the side. Now, doesn't that look like a restaurant meal? That's pretty, isn't it? Okay, so now it's time to taste. Here we go. You take a little taste. Get some cilantro on there. Oh, it's sort of hard to get a little bit of noodles. I don't want to be slurping them. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. Really good. Oh, and you know what? Forgot to put the tofu in. Let's throw some tofu in there. Mix that in. That'll be part of the dish too. Oh, and you know what else I forgot? The lime juice. Okay, throw all that in. Mix it again. Got a little distracted there and forgot that lime juice. And there we go. So, enjoy this noodle dish, and I will see you on Monday morning when we put together my humongous veggie loaf. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye-bye.